Next questions, set of questions, Shri Rang, Velavan Kannan, Himanshu Kapoor, Shri Iyer, Shravan. These are questions about government and politics. So what is the Indian government doing? How can we push them and pressure them? What do you expect Modi government to do? Is the government stopping breaking India forces? If so, how? If not, why not? And then there is a suggestion that once in Andhra Pradesh, a lot of Hindu gurus came together and protested. It was a very loud protest, and so the government took action. So why can't we do the same thing now? Why can't we bring a lot of people to put pressure on the government and RSS to do something? This is the question. Then it says, another one says that Kumbh Mela is a Hindu event. Can we request the government to put restrictions that non-Hindu organizations cannot come, and so on? So I think first thing I want the government to do, studies on us. As if we are some kind of microbes, studies on us. As if we are some kind of microbes, or we are some kind of mosquitoes or something that they have to come and do research on us. We are sitting there very happy, they're looking at us, feeling very proud that we are important to them. We should not have this kind of inferiority complex. We do not need others to study us. We do have social issues, environmental issues, all kinds of things, because it's been around for so long, so obviously things have changed, we ought to study them. But we ought to study them ourselves. There's plenty of talent, there are plenty of groups that should go and employ people to go and do actual research, quantitative research, qualitative research, gather databases, build databases on who comes, what are all the jatis, what are all the levels of society, gender issues, environmental issues. We should gather all this data ourselves. It will create thousands of jobs. It will create jobs for people who are from our Sanskriti. On the one hand, we are saying that people from our Sanskriti don't get employed because everybody has to know English and speak and be westernized. But here is something that an average villager could also be asked to come and do. People with tremendous humility, people who are the participants in the Kumbh Mela, who come from far away, they are the best people who want to protect it. So we should employ such people and do the gathering, and then they should understand it, process it, analyze it themselves, and present it. It should not be something where data has been captured, taken away to Harvard in some cloud or controlled by Harvard. Our government doesn't even have a copy of what the data has been. So we should stop all that. And this is the first thing the government should do. This is not just federal government but state governments. There are different state governments where it is held, and they should not underestimate the threat. They should understand the threat. I don't think these government people have become aware of the threat even, because a lot of good PR has been done on them by various agencies. Yeah. So I find that the people in the government that I talk to about these things, they feel that who am I? I don't have any position. So they are looking at, what does he bring? He doesn't bring money. He doesn't bring votes. He doesn't want a job. So they are more interested in their own survival and friends' survival and so on. So this is a problem. You have to convince, you have to lobby, you have to pressure the government. They have to get knowledge from wherever they can get, and not be biased as to who is supplying them the knowledge. If somebody has the knowledge, they should respect it. Okay, so that's, I think, very important. Then ICCR, which is the Indian Council of Cultural Research, is giving awards to some of these Western Indologists. They should stop that. And I have requested that they should hold a series of inquiries on Western Indology. Just like the US is doing, hearings on human rights in India, religious freedom in India. We should do hearings on Western Indology. We should do that. But we are not. And so far, I didn't see get traction from people in some ministries that I approached, that we ought to be having an annual conference where we are reversing the gaze on Western Indology. Just to let you know, I'm starting a series of conferences on Swadeshi Indology, which reversing the gaze on Western Indology. The first conference will be held in IIT Madras in July, and we'll have 3 days of talks and papers on Sheldon Pollock, critiques by couple of dozens of people from the Swadeshi Drishti. So this is something the government ought to be encouraging, and political parties who are on our wavelength should be encouraging. The issue is too new with the government. You can't really blame them because it's too new. They don't know anything about it yet. And so it is our job, it is your job to brief them. have them read these things, papers I'm writing, watch these videos, read some of my books. I'm available to go there and do briefings. I'm coming for a few days in July and I'm willing to sit and talk to senior people. But they have to be senior people, decision makers, people who are willing to listen with an open mind and then do something. Whoever they are, I'm willing to go and spend my time. So the issue, the mental block Hindus leaders have is that the use of Sam Dan with PR as a Trojan horse to get in is something they don't understand. They're not willing to even accept it because they're saying these people are so nice to us. How can they be, how can you charge them with all these things? Meat eating will start in the Kumbh Mela. Distribution of meat, because there is no law against it. And this is on state property. This is not the Mela is not on private property.